This video is how to how to install local version of your SAP NetWeaver ABAP application server. I have created a installation instructions, and this video is about how I implemented the installation. The key points here is that I am using the regular Hyper-V as virtual machine, and in my opinion my installation process is really the simplest one, the simplified one. The first, here are the major 9 steps. Unfortunately, this is a 9-step process, where first you should download the ABAP RAR files, open Suse ISO file, WinSCP, an excellent SFTP application, and you should install it. So I'm not showing these parts, I just give you details, information where these files are available. But what I am demonstrating during this video is starting here on the point 2. So the first steps are like on developers.sap.com, open an account. I have already opened an account for me myself, and in the trial and downloads go to the ABAP development tools, where in this section you can click here, and then SAP NetWeaver AS means application service, ABAP developer edition, and there is trials and downloads. And if you click here, these are then the 11 RAR files for the installation package itself, and then there is also a license file. Today this is the file which is available February the 21st. So download these files, and the next step is here. If you are interested, there is a blog post about this installation. This is the official installation, and it is an excellent. So this Julie Plummer has a number of excellent guides about this. However, she is using only the VirtualBox and VMware. VirtualBox actually doesn't even work on my Windows 10 computer with this OpenSUSE, so therefore I was forced actually to use Hyper-V. And anyway, I am a fan of Hyper-V. This developer edition concise installation guide is quite useful. However, my installation process, in my opinion, is a lot simpler. So this was the SAP part. The next step is please download, open SUSE Leap 15.2 or whatever version you want, and then this is the ISO file that we need for the virtual machine environment. And then an additional component, this is the WinSCP, an excellent SFTP client which we use to upload the RAR files from the Windows file system into the virtual machine, and this is a brilliant tool. So these are the 3 components we need, and now I start actually the installation process. So where the first step is I'm going to create a Hyper-V virtual machine, that simple, and then I install the SUSE Linux in that virtual machine. In the next section in the virtual machine, I configure Suse for this ABAP service. It's again not that complicated, a couple of steps only. Then I upload the RAR files, which I've already downloaded into this virtual machine with WinSCP. And then I unrar these files and I run the install script. This is quite lengthy, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. Then I start the service as npl adm with start SAP in the virtual machine. And this is the point when the service is started. Then I download the SAP GUI zip file from the unread location from the virtual machine into Windows, because these rare files that I have shown here contains the SAP GUI package. Then I unzip the SAP GUI installation package and install the SAP GUI. Again, this may take 5 minutes or so. Then I start SAP GUI and connect to the ABAP service which we started at step number 6. So that's the overall sequence of things. So let's then follow these guidelines. So I start Hyper-V on my system. I have already only one virtual machine. What is important then in my system, please create a virtual switch. I have already created one. This is that simple, just simply a new virtual network switch. Click here, external, create virtual switch, and then give it a name, something like external virtual switch, and that's all. I have already created an external switch which I name vSwitch Internet, and then I selected external network and I simply picked this as a connection on my system. So when you create a new switch, yes, just select whatever Ethernet connection you have in your system. So make sure to create this virtual external switch and then just create a new virtual machine. Before you begin, just start, give it a name, something like ABAP. Store the virtual machine different location. Yes, I've already had a location on my high-speed storage. Generation 1 is fine. Assign memory. I assign 16 gigabytes. Configure networking. Then that's here. You should switch your connection. So this is external switch internet, which I use. Next. And then this is the virtual hard disk. That's completely fine. The size is fine. So that's all. Installation option. And then here is important. Pick the operating system disk and browse. In my download folder, I have here the OpenSUSE Leap ISO disk image. And next, and summary, and finish. Now I have it here, and then I just simply connect, right click and connect, or double click, and then let's start the installation process. On my keyboard, I simply select installation, press enter, and the installation is running. Okay, so I clicked through the steps until this point, and it was quite straightforward. And here I pick GNOME as a desktop. And in this suggested partitioning, select Expert Partitional and then start with existing partitions. In this partition, select the hard disk and then edit. And here, the role, as for role, select the operating system. And then for file system, ext4 and accept. Yes, just continue. Okay, for region, I'm located in Europe, Hungary. Next, I create a username and a password as a master password. This is the master password and it's going to be used for the root password is either. So this section is also important. In the security part, disable firewall will be enabled, that disable for now. And then enable SSH service. These are very important. Okay, and practically that's it. Press install. Okay, at this point, just simply press boot from hard disk. And then open Suse lib, another enter. Okay, so now that we have our Linux, Suse installation done, let's open a terminal to find out the IP address. Here you go. Our IP address is 192.168.24. This was given by the DHCP service to this virtual machine. Then the next thing that we may figure out, if the UUIDD service is available and running, this is required for the database engine. So this whole ABAP developer service edition is using Sybase database system. So as you do, service status pipe grep UUIDD. Okay, the password, this is our master password, which we define. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. No, we don't have it, so we have to install it later. And let's make sure if the lib AIO is installed. Okay, it is installed, so that's fine. Now we should make a couple of customization with Just, yet another tool. Again, our master password. Let's first just add the system keyboard. During the installation, I failed to change from the US to the UK. I have here a UK layout. Okay, then the next is system network settings. In the hostname DNS, this is where we should enter a very fancy name, VHCAL NPL CI. So I'm not sure why is it. I have an idea that this host name is expected by the installation script of this ABAP installation script for this specific solution. So that's why it is important to define like so. After we have this, in the network services and the host names, let's add the IP address 192.168.0.24 and just enter this VHCAL NPLCI name like so, and then okay. And in the software part, select online update. We need two packages in the search. First is on rare for on packaging the application, and then here you go, it is not installed. So let's install it. Accept. And the next is UUIDD. As seen, it wasn't installed by default, so that's why we have to install it too. Excellent. So these are that we would need. Let's go back to the terminal. Then the next step is to start WinSCP, and let's just enter here 192.168.0.24 username make, and for password and let's save it. Okay, and login. The first connection is, then press yes, and here you go. On the right hand side we have our Linux system, and on the left hand side our Windows system. So our job here is to create a folder now with new directory ABAP, and then go into this directory and locate in downloads. These are the RAR files that should be uploaded over to this virtual machine. Okay, so the next step, let's go back to our virtual machine. And go into the ABAP folder and then unpack the RAR files. It's enough just to define the first one, because the X parameter means that it will extract all of the 10 or 11 RAR files. Okay, we are done with the unzipping, and the next step is change the install sh to be executable. Change mod plus x install sh. After installation, uuidd start the service with sudo service uuidd start. And now check again if the service has been started. Yes, now it is started. Okay, and then execute the installation. Of course, with I have to enter 2 times the password. Yes. So installation NPL successful. So keep in mind it's very important that the UUID service should be started before the installation process, otherwise it won't go through. So now we have the service up and installed, and then the next step is just to start the service itself, which is done with SU NPL ADM. So I just enter the master password, and the process is start SAP. This is hard to start the service itself. After startup, the next step is going to be to, while it is started, why not going ahead and do the next step, that is with, oh, its instance host is started, excellent. So go back to the WinSCP, refresh. So practically we don't need any more these files, so I just simply delete them, all of the 11 files. And in a client, package folder, there is a zip file, and download it over to the Windows host, because this contains the SAP GUI, SAP GUI. Okay, then in the Windows system, then the next step is to, in downloads, extract all, excellent. So the next step, just go into the GUI folder and then run the setup all. Select all and next. Okay, it is done. The installation. Let's just open the SAP logon. So this is how it is opened. Then let's create a new item. User specified system. Next, here in the description is Suse VM application server, just the IP address 192.168.0.24. Instance number is 00, system ID NPL, and practically finish. And we can right click and log on. Here you go, the connection is established, and the username here is developer, and the password is down 1 OAD. The client 01, yes, press enter. Name and password is incorrect. Developer. Let's enter again. Is down 1 OAD. Here you go. Excellent. SAP username developer last system logon. And we are in. So that was it, my friends. So have fun with ABAPing.